person shouldn't be surprised when I ask, what's up, my fellow headbangers, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, hi, and thanks for dropping in. I'm Courtney, aka the Versatile Virgo. I hope you stick around to hear some things that I have to say in this video, and even possibly subscribe, especially if you're a heavy music fan, because that's what we talk about here. My love of heavy music and everything that comes with it. And if you need even more than my video content here on YouTube, you can of course check out my website, theversatilevirgo.com, where I show you glimpses of everything of my metal lifestyle, including concerts that I'm going to, my musically inspired recipes, new music suggestions, and so much more. I've linked that in the description below for you if you want to check it out, along with my little Etsy shop. That's where I sell my VV merch and my handmade bags. I'm an independent entity, so this video isn't sponsored by anyone except for me, but if you'd like to help support what I do, a free way to do that is liking, subscribing, and even sharing with a friend. But of course, you can check out my Etsy shop down in the description below too. Speaking of, really quickly, I'm sorry I've kind of disappeared for a little bit on my long form videos. I've actually been really busy working on some new bags that I am planning to release in my shop next year in 2023. So I'm super excited to share that with you guys, and I've just been really working super hard on that. I guess I haven't totally disappeared from YouTube because I have been posting shorts on my bags and my progress with making them and things like that. So if you want to see some behind the scenes stuff, then you'll want to check out my shorts, and I have them all in a playlist for you. Okay, so moving on to important metal matters, I think it's time that we settle the great metal band tee debate. Of course, in today's video, I had to wear official merch from probably one of the biggest bands that, let's just say, if you're a female and you're wearing a shirt from them, someone somewhere is gonna say, but can she even name 3 songs? And so the purpose of today's video is to sort of open your mind on the great metal band tee debate, and hopefully we will finally settle it. I mean, it is 2022, so should we even be asking things like who should wear metal band tees? Is it still a no-no to wear a shirt for a band that you can't name 3 songs from? Today, I am hopefully going to answer those burning questions for you in today's video by settling the great metal band tee debate. So let's start with the most obvious questions in the great metal band tee debate. Why would someone buy a shirt for a band that they don't even listen to? And to counter that, why is it your business what people wear? Who deemed you the fashion police? It's rude to randomly ask anyone in public why they're wearing something to begin with. If I was out in public and I saw someone wearing a shirt with a Target logo on it, let's say, I'm not going to go up to them and ask them to name me 3 things that they do as a Target employee, or 3 reasons why Target is such a wonderful place to shop at. By the way, not my opinion. I don't shop enough at Target to know that, so you can comment below and let me know if maybe I'm missing out on Target, but every time I go there, I really just can't seem to find the appeal. Anyways, that's what the name 3 songs BS sounds like to me. On the other hand though, if I am out in public and I am having a conversation with someone who is wearing, let's say, a shirt with the Target logo on it, said person shouldn't be surprised when I ask, hey, do you work at Target? Or, oh cool, I didn't know Target sold shirts like that with their logo on it. You must really like shopping at Target. Just for that person to respond to me and say, I don't even know what Target is. I just really like this logo. And don't get me wrong, obviously a logo on a band tee is much more artistic and much more maybe desirable to wear than a Target logo, but I'm using this as an example to show you how ridiculous this thinking in general is. But let me give you my own really weird personal example. So within the last, I would say 2 years or so, I was walking through Walmart and I was already in a mood because I hate going to Walmart to begin with. I try to avoid it at all costs, but on this particular day, all the other grocery stores in my area did not have what I was looking for, and I had no choice but to go to Walmart. So I'm walking through one of the aisles, and at the same time, there is another woman, probably like 20 years older than me, I would say, and she's passing me in the aisle. She didn't look like a metalhead or a rocker or have any band tees or anything on like that. She was just a woman in the grocery store to me. I had my Alice in Chains FaceLift t-shirt on that I've had for probably like 14 years now, and it is still going strong, by the way. Anyway, so I had my Alice in Chains FaceLift t-shirt on. If you want to hear about my outpouring of love for Alice in Chains and FaceLift, I have a bunch of videos on this channel already, plus articles over on my website that you can read, but I did do an unboxing for the FaceLift anniversary vinyl, so I'll link that in the description below if you want to check it out, because I talk a lot more about FaceLift in that video. So anyways, back to the story. So as the woman is walking closer to me, we haven't passed each other yet in the aisle, I see her glance at my shirt and then kind of give like a smirk and then look away from my shirt. And then as we get closer and now we're kind of side by side passing each other in the aisle, she says to me, "I like your shirt. Do you listen to Alice in Chains?" Just like that. No like, "Oh, I like your shirt. Do you listen to Alice in Chains?" And who knows how this lady meant it, by the way. If you're out there seeing this, like, no disrespect. I'm just using this as an example of how weird the exchange was to me. And when she said this to me, she didn't look at me. She looked in the like opposite direction, but it was very obvious she was talking to me. So I responded and said, "Oh yeah, of course, they're my favorite band. Do you like Alice in Chains?" And still, without looking at me, as we're standing in the aisle, she says, "Well, I liked Lane," and then just continued to walk past me. And I'm still, like, as I'm telling this story, it was such a weird, just kind of exchange. And you know, online, I've definitely had people, when they see me posting a picture in a Metallica shirt, for example, that will comment on it and say, "Oh, does she even know who Metallica is? Can she even name 3 songs?" You know, we've all been there. But it was the first time in real life that I'd ever had an exchange with another person who apparently is sort of into heavy music, I would assume, actually sort of question me on why I was wearing the band tee. And maybe I read too much into the exchange, but it was just weird. Normally when you see another heavy music fan in public wearing a shirt that you're like, "Oh, cool shirt. Do you like Alice in Chains?" That was not how this was kind of said. And it very much came across, even from when I saw her glance at my shirt, that it was like, "Oh, that's cute. Look at this young chick wearing this shirt that she probably doesn't even know who they are." But joke's on you, because I'm like a mega Alice in Chains fan, number one. And number two, this just goes to show, watch who you say things to, because the chick that you are saying it to in the grocery store might just have a little website called theversatilevirgo.com dedicated to her love of heavy music, and a YouTube channel where she talks extensively about lots and lots of heavy music. Now, my tried and true metalheads and heavy music enthusiasts, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations, because this is where we are going to turn to the other side of the coin and address the people in the room who are wearing band tees for bands that they don't even listen to and don't even know who they are. So to those people, I ask, why? Why would you wear something that you don't even know what it represents? And maybe this is kind of like me being an early 90s baby, and maybe this is where there's sort of like a generational gap maybe in the line of thinking. And what I mean by that is, maybe I have a very old school way of thinking in terms of like, if I see something on a piece of clothing that I really like and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. If I don't know what it means, I'm not spending $45 on it, number one, over at a place like H&M and then gonna walk around with other people knowing what it means and I have no clue. That's just embarrassing. I mean, look at the Balenciaga scandal right now, which I've been wanting to talk about so bad on this channel just because I have so many opinions on it, but I realize it's not necessarily heavy music related, so you guys probably necessarily don't care. Tons of videos out there on the Balenciaga scandal, so I'm not going to go into the whole thing. I'll probably link a couple in the description below just since I'm talking about it today, so if you don't know what's going on, you can become aware of it because I think it's absolutely outrageous and everybody should be aware of it. So again, going back to my initial point with Balenciaga, look at if you're aware of the current Balenciaga scandal. That is a prime example of why you should never wear something that you don't really know what it represents. Obviously a very extreme example, but it is my point. Why would you wear something that you have no clue what it means or what it represents? And don't even get me started on the countless celebrities that wear metal band tees and definitely do not listen to the band. There are plenty of instances where celebrities have been called out. My favorite example was on a Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and I can't remember who the woman was. I just saw the clip of it on Instagram somewhere, but there was a woman on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, a Real Housewife or something, and she was wearing like a Metallica shirt or something like that, and somebody called in, they were taking call-in questions, and somebody called in and said, I just want to know if she can even name 3 songs. And in that instance, it was hilarious. It is the one time that I will say I am letting you guys ask people if they can name 3 songs. If it's some ridiculous celebrity who definitely has no clue about the music at all, that's totally different than some random person in the street. And if you are somebody who is commenting on, let's say, people's Instagram posts because you assume that they're not enough into heavy music and don't deserve to be wearing the shirts that they're posting pictures in, just like in public, you don't know those people from Adam. Not everybody is out here trying to be a Kim Kardashian influencer and trying to take something that is so near and dear to us heavy music lovers and exploit it. I totally get the anger, frustration, and even embarrassment that we heavy music lovers feel when we see some celebrity, Real Housewife, Kardashian, whatever, wearing a shirt for these bands and they're just exploiting it. So I totally get that part of it. But at the end of the day, I think it all really boils down to who cares? I also feel like the members of metal bands and just rock bands in general have mixed opinions on this issue as well, just like any community would. We're all human beings, we all have different opinions, and we all don't have to agree all the time. That's what makes the world go round, for those of you that did not know. But anyways, I feel like a lot of the musicians that we see talk about this are either split between either don't wear them at all if you don't know who the band is and you don't listen to the music, or mind your own business. So again, it directly mirrors how our entire community, the heavy music community, feels about this, not just metalheads. Because while I point out bands like Metallica, Slayer's another one that definitely people get riled up about immediately just as soon as they see someone wearing this shirt. But 2 other bands that definitely come to mind for me that I feel like a lot of old heads will automatically assume the younger generation has no clue who they are is the Rolling Stones and AC/DC. And that is entirely because, one, for both of those bands, their merch has been made so widely accessible, especially in places like Walmart, that you do see a lot of people wearing those t-shirts that probably, honestly, maybe don't really know or are familiar with the music, but I think at least most of them probably know who the Rolling Stones are or who AC/DC is. At least I would hope. Please, for the love of whatever you believe in, if you buy an AC/DC shirt, you should be able to name 3 songs from them. They are one of the most well-known bands, at least here in the United States. There's no excuse, I'm sorry. But for me personally, it ultimately comes down to this. I could care less what you wear. As long as you're not out hurting people, exploiting people, I don't care. I do want to quickly just stress the point of making sure that you're buying official merch no matter what band it's for. For me, it really boils down to this. You would be mad if a large brand stole the design or the artwork from a smaller designer, right? So if you're buying band, wouldn't you want to make sure that you're supporting the artist that you're buying the merch for? And there are so many places, like where I got this Metallica top from, which is actually from Creeping Death Designs, that use official band merch in their creations. This was reconstructed from an official Metallica tee. In my own personal bags that I sell in my Etsy shop, I always make sure that I use officially licensed merch, because to me, supporting musicians is just as important as supporting small businesses. And we're reconstructing from official merch. So it's kind of like if you bought a wedding dress from Vera Wang that didn't fit and you needed it altered, we're altering it for you. So in general, if I see some random person out in public wearing a band tee, I'm gonna think to myself, oh, cool shirt, and then move about my day. If I'm close enough to them, I might say, oh, hey, I like your shirt, and then go about my merry way. I'm not going to go up to that person and question them if they actually listen to the band, and then I'm definitely not going to demand that they prove to me that they listen to the band. Moral of the story, I think some of us have allowed the Kardashians and these celebrities to sort of infiltrate our thinking on when we see a real person wearing a band tee. And just because you see someone wearing a band tee, especially if it's an attractive woman, let's say, it doesn't mean that that person is any less deserving to wear that shirt than you. And again, you never know, that woman might just have a whole YouTube channel and a website. Again, it's called theversatilevirgo.com, dedicated to her love of heavy music, and might just be one day making this very same video. So I'd mind my own business if I were you. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, because I have even more heavy music related videos on the way. Have a great weekend and stay heavy.